Hey everyone, and welcome back to Underqualified.
A podcast where we talk about shit we're not qualified to talk about.
Hey Shar.
Hi, Reg.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hi.
And everyone, give a warm welcome to 2/5 of Wallace tonight. Yay.
Yay. Hello.
This is our second time filming this. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty.
Multiple technical difficulties today, but we're powering through.
Yes, ma'am. It's all good.
So,
Yeah. So today we have. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves again?
okay.
I'm James. I'm the keyboardist for Wallace tonight.
And I'm Grace, and I'm the drummer for Wallace tonight. And then to introduce the rest of the band members in their spirit, we've got Paul, who's our lead singer and plays guitar. Then we have John, who's James's brother, who's also on guitar. And then we have Graham, who's on bass.
Fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So a little bit backstory on how your band came to be. I know you guys are from the same hometown, so how'd you guys start playing together?
Yeah, so we knew each other when we were kids. Me and Grace knew each other, and me, Grace, and John, we all played in the same concert band. Our schools merged, and because we had the same music director for both bands, so we would play together. And yeah, we all knew each other from then. And then after that, that was in grade school. You met up. What year were you guys when you met up with Paul?
Paul and I were in a cover band, I think, junior year or senior year of high school.
Okay.
So a bit of a gap there. And then that cover band broke up. And then Paul and Graham, who's the bassist, they just started jamming because they were friends.
Yeah, and then Graham's brother is my roommate. And he was telling me about them two playing together. And you would play with them sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was telling me about how they would play together. And my brother, he's been practicing. He hadn't been in a band before this, and he's been practicing since we were in grade school. So he'd been basically practicing on guitar and bass, and hadn't been in a band. And I was like, this guy is way too overqualified. Like, he needs to get with these guys. So I got him to play with them too, and they started jamming. And then, yeah.
And then with me coming here to Drexel and everybody else being headquartered in Northeast Philly, it was a little hard for my availability to drum, so James would fill in on the drums. And then I just made it work, and now we're a full band. James is on keys now. And yeah.
Yeah, when we're jamming, I'm playing drums, but when we're performing, I'll play the keyboard, so.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
it's a split.
So how long have you guys been like a fully formed band? Like when did it all like really come together? And did you guys start playing shows?
We started practicing as a band in July of 2021, and our first show was in August of 2021.
Wow, that is not really a lot
No.
time
No,
to
yeah.
be playing together.
It was not. It was
And
a little.
you enjoyed your first show?
Yeah.
Oh, it was fantastic,
Yeah.
and the songs. We had all original music coming out. I don't think we played a single cover until our first
Wow.
couple
Yeah.
shows, because we went down to Graham's. He has a shore house, and we just went down there and wrote God knows however many
That's so
little
fun.
songs. So yeah, it's very impromptu, and just all of a sudden it all happened so quick.
That's cool because I feel like a lot of bands when they first start out they do end up playing covers just to fill some
Oh
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when the crowd doesn't know them. They're like, oh, this will help them sing along. But
Yeah.
really impressive that you could do that without having any covers. So that's
Yeah, and
cool
that
to
house
see
show,
guys.
that was our first house show ever. So we were very new to the scene from that show, and it's been a blast ever since. We've been going to shows so much since then.
Even when you're not performing, you go?
Oh, we are avid. We're at a bunch of shows. We haven't been active as much recently, actually, but we need to start going to more.
Yeah.
Totally
awesome.
agree. I haven't been to one since before the pandemic, I think.
I went to my first one in a year and a half last weekend, and it was really nice
Where'd
to
you
be
go?
back. I went to the Palace.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
very nice.
The Palace is really cool.
We'd
Yeah.
love to play there.
It's really awesome. Highly recommend. So how many shows have you guys played so far since then?
Like 15-ish.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's
And we have a lot of shows planned right now, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many do you have lined up?
Probably 6.
In
Wow.
the next, it's we're playing a show tonight, and then tomorrow, and then next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and
It's like
then
you're on tour.
Literally.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
but
crazy.
it's just all just Philly-based venues. We haven't. I think is it Ortlieb's? I think it's
Yeah,
called?
Ortlieb's were on the 26th, I think.
Yeah.
That's in
like
Where's that
Northern
at?
Liberties.
Yeah, Northern Liberties.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
So it's
I
like a
love it
bar.
there.
It's like an
Nice.
actually established venue.
Yeah.
So
God,
that'll
it's
be
gonna be
fun.
It's not a basement.
We're,
No,
we're
no,
playing
it's
with
not a basement.
one of the bigger underground bands in Philly right now, Beach Fuzz. They're like,
Wow.
they're so good. Yeah.
And I actually did School of Rock with one of the guitarists.
No
in Beach
way.
Fuzz.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and the drummer too. But I mean,
Is that going to be
Small
your
world.
first non-basement show?
No, we went one time. We went to Atlantic City and played for nobody. We just played at some bar and nobody would even listen to
Yeah.
us. But it was fun.
Wow.
it
That's
was like
cool though to get out of a basement, you know,
Yeah,
for
it
the
was-
first
Oh, yeah.
time.
real stage, the whole thing. It was just nobody was there, but it was still really cool.
Yeah, initially we were like, oh, we don't want to play bars. They wouldn't like our music. We just want to stick to basements. And now it's like, okay, we want to play as many bars as
Yeah.
we can. That'd be
Yeah,
great.
just it's more exposure, and like the house show scene never gets old, I feel like. But you know,
For
it's fun to
sure.
switch it up.
And do you guys think you would like pull like a specific crowd since you played a lot of shows, you have a lot under your belt.
Yeah.
So do you recognize that there's like a certain demographic that you guys are pulling?
Yeah, we've met a lot. Like some of our best friends now were just regulars that we saw at our shows that would come and see us that we performed with. They're people that we just met through the scene, and now they're our best friends. So yeah, but mostly just like students from the universities, like our crowd.
Yeah, and it's a really great crowd. Everyone really feeds off each other's energy, and it's like you feel safe there, and it's just a really great environment for everyone to just be in. It's like after you're done playing, you can just get off stage and like join the crowd and then have
Be a
fun
part
and
of
like
it, yeah.
mosh with these people because you know they feel like a family. So
For sure. I know when I came to college, I didn't know really anything about house shows. That was like totally not my thing in high school.
I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
I had no
Yeah.
idea. And after the first house show that we met, or not met at, the first house show that we went
hung
to,
out,
that
too, yeah.
it was like our first time hanging out. I loved it, and I just loved the community, and just
Yeah.
everyone that's in the DIY scene is like just super chill and like
I
really
was-
cool, and it's just so different.
Scared.
Yeah.
Fear.
I have
Fear.
the RBF of a lifetime, and I know like even like Margaret thought I was like scary when I first met them. Like, right?
I didn't think you were scary. I just personally was scared of you.
See, like, and I like okay. Backstory: I went to and the podcast knows I went to like an all-girl private Catholic school.
Yeah.
I've been going to Catholic school since I was like 2
Same
until I
here,
was
yeah.
18, and I gave off that private girls' school vibe 100%. And it's like,
For sure.
and I don't like think certain ways about like stereotypically how private girls' schools are, but I just I'm like out of Mean Girls. I look like I come out of Mean Girls, really. But so I was like, oh god, they're gonna think I'm like this raging bitch, and like
yeah,
I mean, you are,
only to the people who deserve it.
and that's fair.
fair.
Because I'll be like nice to anyone really, but if you're like being a bitch to someone else and like they don't speak up for
Oh,
themselves,
for
I'll like
sure.
drag your ass to like I don't even know where.
We
but-
need that at the shows. I've had to pull people aside and be like, yo, like this is not the place for what you're doing. Like you're
Literally.
going a little too crazy, and
sure.
it's just like we want to have fun, and you having a little too much fun is taken away from everyone else having fun.
Yeah,
So-
because they have to be like careful and cautious around you,
Yeah.
and like,
because
it's not fun.
It's not. I mean, these shows are well organized. They're very much like these are the rules, these are the guidelines. But there's nobody enforcing someone to. I mean, it's a very loose.
Yeah.
It's the
protection.
vibe. You
Yeah.
know?
It's
And,
like a house too.
We
you know
don't
what I
want.
mean?
Yeah, we don't want to have someone watching over us, controlling our every move, and that entitles us having to follow certain rules and like respecting others.
Yeah,
And I think
respecting
we're-
the house too.
We're
Yeah,
all like
exactly.
old enough to be respectful of each other and to make sure that safety is priority and stuff. And I mean, a lot of the venues around here are way more cautious about COVID than like the city itself.
Yeah,
Like
it's crazy.
vax cards, proof, masks. Like it's so safe and it makes people feel welcome and makes people feel comfortable.
Also,
And-
by the way, I know we have guests on. We asked them if they're all vaccinated and stuff before they came on. That was,
Yes.
like, a
yeah.
secret.
Yeah, we're all
Yes.
safe here.
We're all safe
Don't
here.
worry.
Boosted. We're all students,
Yeah.
so it's like
Yeah.
fine. So yeah, that was just like everything. I remember going to a first house show. I was like, they're gonna think I'm like a bitch, and I'm just gonna have to
Oh,
like
no.
prove them otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I totally agree on the whole like house show, like being respectful. But I will say the crowds are usually really aware of that, so it's like a nice environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Makes
bands do a
everyone
good
feel
job at facilitating that as well.
It's really.
I thought you were-
all I will say is it's like with COVID, I appreciate it as a performer as well. Like being able to look out in the crowd and be like, okay, these people are being safe while I'm performing. Like they came to see us, and like we appreciate the crowds being respectful and the venues being respectful too.
Absolutely. It's like it's a mutual respect.
Yeah.
So since you guys are more heavily performance based, you guys don't have any music on like streaming services yet, but we'll talk about that. But what's your favorite part of performing?
Yeah, when I'm performing, I'm just doing something that I love to do, is playing music, and just like I love learning about music, and performing is kind of like my way to test out if I'm really practicing enough, you know, like sometimes I feel like I'm not practicing enough, and you know I got to get on myself for that, and sometimes I'm just like completely in the zone, and you know that payoff of practicing a lot and then knowing you performed well is great, because I've had some bad performances and I know I did bad, you know, so and it feels terrible.
It happens.
Yeah, so that's the good part, is being able to like see how I'm doing with music.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
My favorite part of performing is just like being on stage. I feel like feeling the crowd's energy and then building on that and the adrenaline, and I super enjoy it. Like I get really into it, and I have crazy facial expressions, and I get all sweaty afterwards, and then people come up to me and they're like, "You did so good," and I'm like, "Please don't try to give me a hug." I'm sweating right now. But yeah, just that initial rush, and then keep looking out into the crowd, and then seeing that people are actually enjoying it too. That payoff is super satisfying to me. But yeah, that's my favorite part.
Even as like a person in the crowd, I remember one of my friends it wasn't their first show. Root Cellar Part 2, I think it was.
Root Cellar Part 2, that was a good night.
And it was like they had like one song out, I think, at the time, just like their first single.
Because their EP hadn't come out yet.
Yeah, and or maybe there was 2 singles, I don't remember. But their most famous single
2.
Was already out, and so we got there, and I obviously know all the words. I know every single word to all their songs, and so I am singing along. But then I just look back, and everyone else is singing along too. And this song was only out for like a couple months.
It wasn't out for very long.
Yeah, and I think I like started crying.
Yeah, it was really crazy, like hearing this whole crowd sing back their song.
Like an entire basement of sweaty college students like singing a song back. I was like, this is insane.
Yeah. And I mean, you guys are like creating like kind of like an escapist like sort of vibe for people, because a lot of the shows are like kind of towards the end of the week, and so kids are like in classes, they're doing work, they're going to work, they're in school, and they go to a house show because they want to escape and they want to have like a nice time, and you guys are like creating that environment for people to just forget about everything else and just enjoy music. So like I bet that feels like really awesome to be able to create that for people.
I mean the fact that we all like didn't know about house shows, I mean it's just that's how I go to parties at Temple. Like I don't like to go to parties, you know. I like to go to shows, and then that's just how I hang out with my friends and stuff. So it's very much like that is the underground culture of the people. Like we get what's going on at Temple. We get the whole like frat atmosphere, but we just want to go and hang out with our friends and listen to some bands play some music, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
So you guys, you mentioned earlier, don't have any music out yet, but you're going to be coming out with music soon. But before we get into your future releases, why don't we talk about the music that you've already written so far, and like what's influenced you, and I don't know, maybe some favorite songs, some writing process stuff.
And also why you decided to not put stuff out, at least initially.
Well, I'll get some all business analytics on.
Go for it. We're business people.
Oh yeah. So basically, we didn't do this on purpose. Like we just were thrown into the scene, like we said. So we were doing these shows, and people really enjoyed our music. And as time went on, we didn't have enough time to get to the studio, and it was like those inconveniences. But then also, if you keep playing these shows, you're creating a demand for your music, right? So like after every single show, people would be like, "Where's your music?" And we're like, "You just have to come to a show." I'm sorry, like we don't we don't have any out, so we're making the demand, and that was really it finally dawned on me about like halfway through. I was like, let's just not put anything out yet. And we also had to have a discussion about copyright, all this stuff, because most of the band doesn't know all of those logistics. And like me as an MIP student at Drexel, I learned all of this. So it was just figuring out how to talk to them about it. But yeah, creating the demand for the music was really important. And then also, I just like playing shows.
Yeah.
So just like come to a show and see our music.
Yeah.
Like that's what I enjoy.
And we're not like that wasn't a part of our plan. We want to release this music as soon as possible, but the fact is, we don't want to release anything. Like, you can only release your first song once. We want it to be as good as possible. And the fact that we had to go to the studio like 2 times, and then just to get like her snare drum ready to go, and just to get like, and
I hear miking drums is awful.
It is just to mic the set. But it was, when I heard her hit that snare drum, I was like, oh, that is going to sound so good on the recording. And it's just going to be the highest quality of our song that we can be, because we have demos and we have recordings of us playing it, but it's not how we want people to listen to us. And that's why it's taking so long. Right.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome, though, even though like it wasn't on purpose, because I checked your guys' Instagram. You're close to 1,000 followers right now.
We are.
That's crazy. For not having any music out on streaming platforms and having
crazy.
that big of a following, that's like really, really impressive. And I think that creates like a really dedicated fan base.
Oh yeah.
Like from the get-go, and it's like actual people that you've come into contact with, that you've seen and spoken to.
It's going to create a lot of fan loyalty.
Yeah, and that's definitely going to spread far and wide after you guys put stuff out on streaming services.
I mean, that's how we kind of know that we're a Philly band, is because there's no people listening overseas like finding our music through Spotify. It's just like we're in this scene, and that's how people find out about it. So and it is kind of, that's how unreal the number is to me, is like that's how people find us, and we're growing. So it is surreal. Like it is crazy.
So,
really impressive.
Paul, right?
Yes.
Is he the one who writes most of the music, you said?
Yeah, so he does guitar. He has an incredible ear.
Yeah, Paul is definitely one of the best musicians I've ever seen in my entire life. He's so creative with the way he just hears music, and he has the benefit of getting bored very easily. And when we're jamming, I mean, I'm in the sessions when we're usually writing songs, and I'm playing drums, and we're in this, okay, we found something, all right, let's try to get it recording, and I'm purposely dragging it out. I don't want them to switch it up too much, because when we find something, when we're jamming, we're going crazy, and then we stumble upon something that's, okay, that could be a song. So I want to get that stuff down, and I want to get it smoothed out, but they get bored very easily, and they want to, I mean, that's how our music is like, it's not one groove. We have songs that are jams, and they groove on certain chord progressions for a certain amount of time, but like we want to switch it up, and we want to also innovate. We want to do new stuff. Like my brother is highly jazz influenced, like Grace is, and a big part of jazz is improvisation and innovation, and it's like coming up with stuff that no one's ever even heard before. That's what we want to do. That's our writing process, is kind of like seeing what we like and seeing how we can modify it.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then,
it's like experimental almost.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, when I get a chance, sometimes Paul and Graham and like everyone created something, and they're like, Grace, do it.
For sure.
And they're just like, and sometimes like I'm just the drum machine, and I make stuff up. And then also there's times where we've made songs where Paul's just like, okay, like put down a groove, and then I put down a groove, and then everybody just builds. It's like a building process. It's very like, it's really chill too, because Paul and I had that chemistry in the cover band because we were on the same wavelength. So when we started Wallace Tonight, Paul and I were always like, we knew where we were gonna go. Like we both had that, like the connection, and then everybody else was like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So, but now we all adopted that chemistry, and now we're all on the same wavelength. So like writing new music is easy now. Like we just, we pump them out. We have at least like 20 originals.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you
Awesome.
usually write them all together, like in one like group session, or do you go off and do your own thing?
A lot of the time it'll start with all of us practicing on our own, and we're experimenting on each of our instruments, and say someone will come up. Graham writes some great bass lines where it's just like, this is the bass line, like you guys find out where you can fill in on this, and it is it is go from there. Like we are just once you hear that tempo and that groove, and once you get into it, we are just off to the races. It's so much fun just seeing what it's one person coming up with a kind of, okay, that's a cool idea. We'll see what we can do with that, and it just is expanding from there.
Yeah, and then also writing stuff in a group setting is really fun because like we do that. Like our group chat is full of voice memos. Like people just send random ideas, and then when we all get together finally to rehearse for a gig that we have or something, we get the stuff down that we need to for the gig, and then afterwards it's like, okay, who listened to the voice memos? Let's do it. Let's all get together and like really work on it. So it's kind of a mix of both, of like working together in one group setting and then also separately.
And those can be like that can be ranging from, okay, someone's playing guitar on their own to like, I've been beatboxing in the street walking to class because I just have this thing in my head and I need to get it down in the voice memos. So it can be anything that can start a song.
Where do you guys like draw inspiration from? Like, or you can talk about your inspirations or your influences, like as a band and as individuals.
Yeah, I mean, we're all very much listening to what's new coming out right now. Like we want to hear what's new to the scene and stuff that we'd never heard before. And the UK alt rock scene is just like, they're coming up with some crazy stuff. Squid, Black Midi, A Black Country New Road are some bands that we just love. And honestly, like that London rock scene, that is like historically been where new music comes out of. That's where the Beatles started. That's where a lot of like just rock and roll that's where rock and roll started. So that's what we listen to. That's like a huge inspiration for us.
Yeah. And then individually, we all have strengths in different disciplines. So, like, I was trained as a jazz drummer. Right. So I have a lot of technicality in how I play. But then I also really love the Foo Fighters and, like, that just really hard, grungy drumming. Because I grew up with rock. Like, I grew up with the Foo Fighters and Shinedown and all of those. So that influences my playing. But then my leisurely listening is much different than the rest of the bands. So it's very like, I like indie pop, and pop isn't in their vocabulary. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
So no Justin Bieber on the aux?
For me, I would put it on. I would put it on, but I'm not allowed to have the aux. So.
Come on, let her have the aux.
Sometimes we do. And she shows out some, like, Grace plays some great songs. Like,
I do.
Honestly, we like listening to Grace's gospel music, like in church music more.
Yeah, I play in a church band. So sometimes
awesome.
That
cool.
stuff is like
girl.
pretty hard.
I used to anyway.
What?
I was part of gospel choir, and then all of a sudden the teacher was just like, sorry, you got it, and like disappeared. And I was like, okay, I'm running gospel choir now. 1, 2.
That music is just like, that's the music you listen to.
Bro, church music goes crazy.
It goes crazy.
That
wild.
organ, oof.
Yes.
So good.
yes. Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So you have 20-ish new songs coming out, originals?
No. So we have like these songs. These are the songs we have that we could play. They're full songs, like, but they're very malleable. Like we are in the process of changing those songs, like and then writing new ones. But those could combine at certain points.
Yeah.
We don't even have some of the names for all the songs we want. Like the songs that we're releasing, one of them we don't have the name for yet, and we've been calling it "Night in Hawaii," but we don't want to call it that.
we don't want to call it that anymore.
Yeah.
No.
So you are releasing a new project soon?
Yes.
Something that the loyal fans have been waiting for. So why don't you tell us about what the plan is for that?
So the plan is I have a project here at Drexel. I'm in Mad Dragon, and we started a record label called Cacophony Records, and we signed Wallace, and we were like, you know what? Like, pedal to the metal. Let's get a project out. Like, let's do this. So we're gonna release a single, but it'll have 3 tracks in it. So it's structured like an EP, but we're just gonna call it a single because the songs are relatively short. Some of them.
A-side, B-side, and C-side.
Yes. We're not gonna do any physical for this release. We're just gonna do all streaming platforms. And just organizing all of that's really exciting, and finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. It's just getting everyone in the studio, doing individual tracks. Like, we've got 2 of the 3 tracks done, like rhythm section completely done, like completely down. So it's just getting into the studio, just making anyone just come in and just do it on their own if they need to or not. So we're shooting for end of March or March in general. So yeah, very excited.
Very
That's
exciting.
I meant to ask before, how did you guys come up with the name of your
That's
band?
all you.
Yeah, I mean, the way I was described to it was that Graham thought that sounded like a cool talk show name.
It does.
Wallace Tonight, right? Whoever Wallace is. So, okay, it started, our band was called the Stone Fruits.
Yeah.
So, like peach, plums, we were the Stone Fruits.
Got it. Okay.
And we were
Fruit
like,
core.
all right,
Fruit
Stone Fruits.
core.
Philly Fruit Core.
Yeah.
We changed to Wallace Tonight. There is a Philly band called Wallace, and we were hoping to overtake them at some point.
Yes.
But we don't have any music out right now, so.
But you
that's
got a
not-
lot on
gonna be
Instagram,
cool.
so.
So yeah, Wallace Tonight. And now the lore of Wallace is just infinite. Wallace is a talk show host dog who is intergalactic. He is an ethereal being.
Yes.
There's
Nice.
he is not a physical being. So
No.
he goes and interviews around people in the galaxy, and that is Wallace Tonight. That is the show Wallace Tonight.
I love that.
So that's our name.
I don't even want to know how that came to be, that thought process. But
I
I'm
wasn't involved.
here
Every
for it.
time someone asks us
But-
about the name, we are prone to add more to the lore.
You just add more and
come
more.
up
It's a
with
I
different
love
story
that.
every time.
Yeah,
exactly.
Do you guys like have Wallace as like a logo or like for
We do.
merch?
We do. We have our little TV dogs. We've got 3 different dogs. Like we said, it's a supreme being, so the dog can look however you want it to look, right? So yeah, we have some little stickers with our little Wallace TVs, and then we've got some other like dog related merch, like circle dog tag stickers, which like
That's
came
awesome.
out great.
Oh,
But
When,
yeah.
when can people get that stuff?
And where?
Yeah.
You can get it at shows. We're selling it strictly at shows. The stickers are $150 each, and then we do a deal. You get all 6 stickers for $5, and then we've got pins too, little Wallace Tonight
Ooh.
pins. They're purple. They're very cute.
Yeah, they're cool.
And they're $3 each.
Damn.
And you're already selling them?
Yeah, I carry them around.
They're just the
Nice.
shows, yeah.
Yeah,
We
just
don't
the
want to
shows.
have to, like, we're not going to have them mailing out. We have a lot of stickers,
Yeah.
so, but we'll
You
get
have
rid of
stickers
them.
now?
Yeah.
I might get some.
like
'cause
now
we have
today?
some.
No, I don't have them.
Oh,
Because they're in my car,
damn.
and there's a lot
we
of.
have like a little coat rack that has all.
Yeah,
I'll
we
bring
want
them.
the
I'll bring them.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
Nice,
have
nice.
And y'all can pick your favorite, and then you can put it on there.
Yay!
Yeah.
And we love, like, meeting new artists, like obviously musical artists, but the visual artists in the Philly underground scene are so
Very
good.
talented.
Yes.
Incredibly talented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much talent in Philly.
Yeah.
Philly's
It's a great
coming
song.
up.
Honestly, yeah.
Because Philly is the greatest city on planet Earth. I will stand by that.
Yeah.
We can start this whole podcast. and
I'm
debate
not
it.
from New York City, but I'm like from New York, and part of New York that's.
We're smaller, but we're more of a
More
welcoming
fun.
place.
I'm still a loyal New York girl. I think through and
Okay.
through. I think it's also because
Hey, it's a fair
It's
debate.
it's
okay.
the food.
You have a
It's
good
enough.
argument.
It's
True.
enough of that. The food alone is enough for me to say, yeah, let's go to New York. But
Yeah.
We're
I'm
not
still
from
bad
love
Jersey,
either.
so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
you could do
not
either,
bad.
or
Yeah. Play both.
Yeah.
I did go to New York more as a kid, I will say.
It's just you could get an amazing slice of pizza for $1
At
Dollar
3 a.m.
slices.
at any time.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
that's
haven't
true.
found that here. Like the semi decent ones, you have to pay like $4 for like
That's so true.
Yeah.
at like, and it has to be at like 1 a.m. instead of like 4
Yeah.
a.m.
Hey, I worked at one of those places, and I really appreciated that we closed at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
That's
I
fair.
will say
Because
that's fair, yeah.
those graveyard shifts would be awful.
I walk into
But-
some of the places and they're like, "How can I help you?"
Yeah, it's very like, oh, my
You want pizza? We know you want pizza.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
get
It's
it.
like,
Yeah.
oh, like, go away. Go. No, no.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
So yeah, I guess you're having some shows tonight and tomorrow.
Yep.
When's the next one you're close by? I feel like I might want to check you guys out.
Sprinkle around March, like late March, we have 25th and 26th. We're in North Philly, and then we're in West Philly.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll check your Instagram.
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
stuff.
But yeah,
Speaking
very
of,
accessible.
everyone wants to know where to find you.
Yeah.
so-
Where can the people find you?
So we're on Instagram at Wallace Tonight, WALLACE, and then how you spell tonight. And you have all of our shows like right in the bio. You don't even need to scroll. it's just all the upcoming shows are right in our bio. We also have a YouTube and a TikTok where we post like concert clips.
Yeah, you can listen to we have full songs out right now on YouTube actually.
Oh,
like
sweet.
but they're
Okay,
live
cool.
recordings and it's of our concerts. One of them's like someone holding the camera. It's such a good video.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, did we hit everything?
I think so. Was there like a code of sorts you guys wanted to talk about?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so I wanted to just say, if anyone hears this podcast and they come up to me at a show and they're like, we listened to you on this lovely podcast, then you get a free sticker.
Ooh.
There you go.
So,
Free stickers.
yeah.
Okay, I guess the code word is underrated then, I guess.
Underrated or
Done.
underqualified.
Underqualified.
Yeah, the code
Underqualified.
You're
word is-
underrated,
You're underrated,
but
underqualified.
you're overqualified. How
Oh,
about that?
we're
After the
very qualified. Yeah,
Yeah.
after today, I don't know about that.
We're gonna have to like reassess. We're
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
have to like,
definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know, like
Well, you got an extra
do a
mic
prayer
now,
circle
so
or
it's good.
something.
Yeah.
True, yeah. You have
Code
4
word,
mics.
underqualified. Get a free sticker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look
Yeah,
at
just say if
us.
we're- if
Wow.
Look at you,
Yeah,
man.
heard us on here.
Making our job easier.
So much
All
fun.
right,
I'm
yeah.
really happy Jade reached out.
Yeah.
On behalf
Yeah.
of
Yeah, I'm really happy you guys can
Cacophony.
come through.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't really, my Instagram notifications are off, which is
Yeah.
really bad for someone who runs an Instagram account
It's
for
okay.
a podcast. But,
Yeah.
you know, mental health.
Yeah,
And
it
I
happens.
just saw like a request. I was like, oh, you get a request? That's interesting.
wow.
And I saw, I was like,
Or a
oh,
hot
who's this?
commodity.
I know.
Yeah.
Guess one band.
Yeah. Well, we really just wanted to make a plan of just being able to get the band out, like on the record side. We just
Absolutely.
the record label side. We really just wanted to
Yeah.
push us, and we thought this would be an absolutely incredible place
yeah.
to do that.
As
Yeah,
a Temple
for sure.
student, I feel like I'm like in heaven right now.
stop.
This building is amazing. I love it here. Drexel's great.
Thank you
That's
guys so much for
interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for coming. Really enjoyed having you here, and thank you for being patient
It was
with
very-
us
oh
through
my
our
God, it was
through our
yeah, it was
technical
awesome.
difficulties.
It was also just really nice having people to talk to other than Regina. I will say.
Yeah, it gets boring.
It's like I can only
Yeah.
say so many things to Regina.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just stay out of it. We can leave now. Yeah.
Well, good luck with your show tonight and the
Thank
upcoming
you.
shows. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we'll see you at one soon.
Absolutely.
Thank
Good
you
luck
guys
with your
for
upcoming
coming.
releases.
Yes,
Oh,
make sure
yes.
everyone look out for that one. I'm
Yes,
really
go
excited
follow
about
them. The description, or please, come on. Their
We're almost
username.
there. We're almost there.
All of their info will be in the description on YouTube and in the
On
description
Instagram.
on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and on Instagram.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shout you guys
Fantastic.
out. Expect
Absolutely.
some content on there even before we release this, honestly.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully with ease next time. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Goodbye.